So this is my power setup. I see here right now it's yellow. Just a second ago that turned red. Yellow means it is normal, so around like 12.5 or more. If it's green, it's full, and that's when the engine is on. That's about 14 volts. So at yellow, there it goes. It just flashed to red, so it's basically close to draining it. If I look at my app here, the Renogy app, if you can see, it's showing 12.5 volts right now. So 12.5 volts is, it's okay. It's running at 64. I don't know where it's getting that from, but this is the Renogy app. When I test the voltimeter, you can see this. If I test the voltimeter, right now it's connected to that positive side. When I look at the negative side and I test it, you'll see it is showing 12.5, 12.7, just as it was before. And then what's interesting is through the BMS, and then checking here, it mimics that same 12.7, which is great right now. And I just don't understand what causes it to like fluctuate back and forth. Right now it's nighttime, so the alternator is not running. There is no solar. Either of these two lights otherwise would be lit up. Since it is not, I know that if we're draining, it's not being able to be replenished in any way. But, as I test the BMS balance leads, I'm able to see that, like, I get 0, 3, 6, 9, 13, basically, which is what you want. But when I end up giving some load, which I'm about to do in a second, I'm going to test this top negative and then the bottom negative. And what I tend to find is they give me different varying voltages. And I can't figure out why. So I'm trying to isolate whether or not it is the BMS or there's something that I can do. But it only happens once I've given it some load. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to turn on the fridge, which is going to throw off the lights and it's going to throw off things. And I'm going to show you what happens. And we're going to retest all of these. Plug it in. Alright. Now let me go flip it on. Tries... Alright, lights went off, threw off the inverter, everything is not happy, and now let's go take a look at. I'm going to come back in here. This is blinking red. He is not happy. He is saying, you have lost power. We go to the app. App is saying, let's refresh it. I hate that part about this app. Come on, app. App is saying... Hope you can see this. App is showing 2.1 volts. And saying battery over discharged. Battery over discharge, 2.1 volts. Okay. So all we tried to do is we tried to power on the fridge, which does take a lot of alternating current, especially when there's nothing else running. We have this guy blinking. He's not happy. This is on our Renogy because he thinks there is not a lot of voltage. All right, this is the weird part. I come to the voltimeter. This is showing 0 volts. It's saying battery over discharge, 0 volts. But... we test the leads. What's interesting is we look here. And this is showing we have 13 volts. Watch this. I go through the P minus here, the one that goes out to our shunt, and look, that is showing 1.5 volts. That is mimicking what the app says. So why, if you can see this, why am I getting a full voltage charge of 13 volts right here? 13 volts. That is a good, fully charged lithium battery. And then when I check the bottom, why am I getting 1.4 volts? So that is what is being told to this system to shut everything off. The battery is over discharged. The MPPT controller is upset. It throws all kinds of flags. I'm trying to figure that out. So if you're able to assist me, I'd be extremely grateful. I don't understand why that is. It only happens once it's been supposedly given a load and is shown overly discharged. The app mimics that, but if I turn the vehicle on right now, we'll see what happens. Alright, we can now go turn on the ignition. The vehicle is on. Everything is still off. We're going to go back. Everything's still off. Yep. We just turned the vehicle on. This is not happy. This light just came on, which tells us that it recognizes the alternator is charging, and there we go. It is now yellow. So it has brought us back to 14.4 volts as it's running, and watch this, the bottom now, also mimicking that. The app now also mimicking that. Oh, that's Android Auto trying to come on. The app now also mimicking that. 14.4 volts, 14.5 volts, fully charged, recognizes a little bit of load. The lights have come back on in the van. So when there is a lot of charge, these guys, that's with me on the top there, moving this down below, shows the same 14 volts. Now we go, we kill the engine again in the alternator. It doesn't go green again because it doesn't think it's full, which it is not. Recognize the alternator light is off, and we have just a yellow light getting 12.8 volts top and 12.8 volts after the BMS. So I don't understand what it is that causes the triggering of the misread, or if it is a misread, or if it is this BMS that's not doing its job on my lithium battery here. But I'm getting different readings. It's just so strange. On top and bottom, only after it's been given a little bit of juice. The sub has come on. The lights have been on for a little while. The fridge was attempted to turn on, and it tries to pull a lot of juice. So if you can help me with that, extremely grateful. The app is obviously showing the same thing that my voltimeter is reading, 12.8, 12.7, right there. I mean, it's doing a good job. It's showing me that same thing right there. But it's also getting the misinformation when everything gets killed, and these two areas right here are not giving the same before the BMS and after the BMS. So that's why I'm wondering, how do I troubleshoot this? What can I do? This is new. Any help, greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. God bless.